Let's see. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rick's Tech Pub on Sunday, January something. Oh, it's the 4th. And it's a Sunday. It's one of those days I'm just kind of just sitting here, just doing this today and listening to a beeping that I keep hearing. Okay, maybe I'm not hearing it. So, how's everybody doing today? Anybody got, well, I suppose everybody's sitting around watching football again. Like I said, I'm not a sports fan. That's why I also kind of gave up on NASCAR. Um, NASCAR was kind of going in a direction I didn't like with all their rules they were coming up with and all their new 2024 things that they started doing this in 2023, 2024. Yeah, it was in 2024 I started watching less and less and less of NASCAR. 2025 I never watched them at all. This year, whatever they do, I ain't gonna be a part of it. So that kind of takes me out of watching any kind of sports, um, let alone hearing about it. I don't myself. I don't talk about sports. I'm just not a sportsy kind of a guy. Everybody thinks I am. Everybody thinks just because of whatever I should be in the pro football and pro basketball and like why would I be interested in that? That's got nothing to do with me. Not to mention if I were to play football, I wouldn't last more than 2 or 3 minutes out in the football field and I get tackled once and I'd be carrying pieces of me back to the sidelines because I would just come apart. My doctors have all told me that I can't take a major hit from one of those football players. They'd be taking me back to the sidelines in pieces. The way my back is, my spine and my bone density or whatever seems to be dropping or what I don't know. But yeah, I've known that for a while, which is why I never got into sports because I never did sports because I can't. So why watch or listen to something I can't do myself? Um, I don't know. My dad will watch the Kansas Chiefs or whatever they are in Kansas, but hey Tim, hey Darren, hey William, and yeah, Ken is here. He was first, so the interweb disconnected chat. No idea if I'm first again or not. Yes, you are. So the interweb disconnected chat. Yeah, it does that sometimes. I don't know why. I've had that happen on mine a couple of times when I'm watching on someone's live stream, and then all of a sudden it says chat's been disconnected. It just turns right back around, and about a half second later, chat is reconnected, and it says whatever. I was sitting there scratching my head, thinking, why did it do that? Windows and programs can act very strangely at times, especially YouTube. It never really does work the way it's supposed to. In my opinion, I don't think it does. I think they need to do a lot of work to YouTube for it to why is someone's smoke alarm keep beeping? No, that's not a smoke alarm beeping. There's a vehicle outside somewhere. It's backing up. That's what I'm hearing is a backup beeper off a vehicle. Think a fire truck maybe. I don't know. I think it's someone out there doing snow plowing. So It is so annoying. And I see Brian, and Brian is absent again. There's a few people here today that are not here, but I'd like to see them here, but they're not. And I said hi to William. Yeah, Ken, I do believe you're first. I don't have any scroll bar on the. So, yeah, you are first. Morning, afternoon, homies. Oh, and speaking of Mr. Darren, um, something I was gonna look at. I just completely forgot what the hell that. Whoa! Oh, there's something I need from you, Mr. Darren. What the fuck? CSI Sydney. I don't have that one, so what in the Sam hell is? I don't know what kind of a video that was that I made, but it makes no sense. A baseball player taking base. Oh, I know what that is. That's one of that. I know what that is. That's one that William sent me of that basketball baseball player that's standing in front of the car, and the bat doesn't hit the ball right because it hits the ball and the ball rolls backwards instead of going the way it's supposed to. It kind of goes up and then backwards. I don't know what happened with that video, but something was very screwy with that one. I did notice that. Oh, excuse me. Carbonation. If you're not careful. um, what was I talking about before? Oh yeah, CSI Sydney. We got CSI New Orleans. I think I need more of Reacher. I don't think I have all of those. Reacher or Preacher, whatever that movie or TV show is. I don't have all of Criminal Minds yet, although I am going to be working on that. So Darren, if Sydney and I gotta find out how many of Criminal Minds I have. I don't think I have all of them. And in fact, I know I don't because the total size is 2.64 gigabytes. And Criminal Minds is bigger than that, so I don't have all the episodes. But I do have all of CSI New Orleans, but I need CSI Sydney. Just kind of letting people out there know. But yeah, I got a few movies on this. On this computer that my movies and TV shows that I need to move over to my server. Which is still DOA. I still haven't done anything with that. Um, what? Oh, yeah, that one. Ah. The one that's got, oh, wait a minute. That's not who I thought it was. Let's play that again. I just realized, although it looks like him, it isn't. Maybe it is. I don't know. Darren is your go-to source. Yeah. That's why I was hoping he was here. The other issue I have is same over on the streamer, that some of my movies, some of the TV episodes are come up as the VLC cone. I don't know why all of them, but I have 2 VLC cones in. Let's check New Orleans. Yeah, okay. Now they're not loading all the way. Yeah, I've got one. I've got one. Season 3, episode 14. Pandora's Box. Comes up as a VLC cone. Don't know why it. Okay, how many more am I gonna have? I got quite a few more. Okay, so I don't know. I mean, they do work, but I don't know. I don't know why it does that. All the other ones come out fine, except I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 VLC cones instead of seeing the preview. I'm seeing this cone on some of them, so I don't know. I'm not a movie genius. I don't know why it does that. So, I don't know. I'm working on some things for tomorrow's video. Today's the weekend, and I just didn't feel like putting any work into anything today. So, in that, I decided to stay in bed for half the day. Not that I wasn't feeling good or anything, or I was just being lazy. I woke up at 8 and got up at 8:30, took my meds, and stood in front of my desk in the bedroom for about a little over a minute, thinking, do I really want to be up right now? It is Sunday. I have nothing to do today. Do I really want to be up at 8:15 in the morning? No. So I laid back down and got up around 11. Oh, 5, I think it was. Yeah, it was like the second time I looked at my phone. It was 11:07, so I did get up at 11:05. When I opened my eyes and grabbed my phone that's right behind my head on the windowsill, I just reach behind me, pull it forward, see the time, throw the phone back up onto the windowsill. So it was 11:05 when I woke up, and it's like, no. I just did not want to get out of bed today. When I have nothing to do and nothing to get out of bed for, what's the sense in getting out of bed? I've got nothing to do today. Tomorrow's going to be a different story, though. There are some projects around here I've got to get done. Gotta do something with these, my Team Goop NVMe drive. If I don't do anything with them, I'm probably just going to end up selling them. But I don't want to sell them because I might need them, so that's my thought. In fact, I actually don't need to sell them. I need to get more of them. hell's this for? Okay, I'll put that over there. Letter opener. I don't know if any of you guys have a letter opener. But, they would work okay if my mom would quit taping the envelopes. She puts Scotch tape on the envelope so that it stays shut. And she always likes the idea of better security, so put tape on your envelopes and make it harder for a guy like me to open the damn thing. I don't know. She sent me something for some reason. I need to take a look at it. Anybody saying in chat? No. I think everybody's busy watching football. Okay, what did you send me? Oh. A Social Security benefit for this year. How did she get mine and I didn't even get it? Oh, I bet she went to Social Security and went to their website and got it. I don't know how much the increase was this year for Social Security, but for me, it's never enough. No, COLA, the cost of living adjustment. Oh, same as last year, 2.8. So a monthly benefit in 2026 before deductions is blank, 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 blank. So I'm not going to tell you guys. I'm looking at the actual numbers right there, so. But when you get Medicare medical insurance, that takes out $202 of it. So my lowered cost would be it's livable. I know I'm going to be getting a few more checks from my tribe this year, so as long as Social Security keeps doing what they're doing and what my tribe from Mille Lacs keeps doing, I will be working, but probably not as much. I don't need to if I'm going to be getting what I think I'm going to be getting. Which will be nice for a change. Put money back in my pocket for leisure activities instead of working. Or doing something else for somebody else. Instead of, I want to do things for me instead of for... I don't mind doing things for other people, but sometimes I get left at the wayside and I get left with nothing. Well, this year, I'm going to change that. If things go right the way I think they're going to, financially, I'll be a lot better off. A lot better. I didn't think 2025 was really all that bad, but 2026 looks to be a little bit more promising. And I think it'll be that way for every year going forward. I think it'll get a little better little by little, and by the time I hit my 70s, I'll be set in my ways, I'll be set, and I'll be good to go. But we gotta work up to that. We gotta climb the ladder. I can't just let things trickle in on their own. There's things I do to get things to be like that. Why the hell? You know, I know Jackie gave me all these posters, but at the same time, I'm kind of sitting here wondering why. I mean, she gave me a whole stack of them. I mean, the stack's about that thick of coasters. And they're about yay thin. They're over there. They are. I'm gonna drop the entire thing instead of. Sorry, I'm sticking my face in the camera. I didn't mean to do that. No, you people on YouTube have a really phobia about people sticking their face up in the camera, and I didn't mean to. I just. That's all the coasters. And I got another stack like this. Again, nice to kind of have, but yet kind of have to scratch your head thinking, what am I going to do? I'm a single guy. Finnegan's Brew reminds me of Finnegan's Garage on YouTube. Maybe it's the same person, I don't know. The Roundhouse Brewery in Brainerd. Well, that hasn't been around for years. Red Hot Blue Moon. Heineken Summit. So yeah, yeah, things are gonna be looking better for this year, financially at least. Ow. Why'd I do that? I'm always organizing this desk because it's never the way I want it. Look at it one day and it's the way it is, and I see, I don't like this. So I rearrange it, and then the next day I get up, sit here thinking, why did I do that? Yes, that was a stupid thing to do, so I move it back. Only until the next day I get up and I sit here and think, no, let us put it back on that side. It looked better on that. That's where they are, is on the left side. They're going to stay there. I was looking for something else. Oh, yeah, the manual for my blood pressure machine. Don't read the instructions, guys. It doesn't get you anywhere. At least instructions don't get me anywhere. They might get you somewhere, but every time I read instructions on something, I kind of have a tendency to reverse engineer it. But I'll sit there and I'll think, yeah, instead of doing that, why didn't you say to do it this way instead of that way? Instead of looking at it that way, look at it this way instead. That's why the first thing I do is I take the owner's manual or the user's manual in the trash can. I just don't like how they write manuals. To assemble this correctly, you must. No. That's not how you do it. Not on everything, because I'm not the genius on everything, but on most electronics things and other stuff, I'll think differently of how the engineers thought it would be. I think, instead of doing it that way, why didn't you do it this way? Doesn't it make more sense to do it that way? And then in my smart-ass years, my younger years, I used to call them up and I used to tell them that. I used to say, there's a better way of doing it than this way. Most of them told me when I become an engineer, a licensed engineer, they'll take my advice. Like, yeah, okay, but and one of those companies isn't even around anymore, and I can't remember who they are. It's from many long time ago. I kind of had a feeling they're going to go out of business. They just weren't doing anything good. They weren't putting any care into what they were doing. And everybody in Brainerd noticed it. Then everybody started telling me they won't be around long. 6 months later, bye-bye. They were gone. They closed their doors. Actually, I think they got forced to close their doors. I think a certain group of people walked into that place and said, you know what, you're done. What? Like that West Side Cafe where that Casey's is now. They got shut down because I believe the feds walked in there. Took their license, took their keys, told them that they're done, tell everybody to pack up their stuff and leave because they're taking them out of business. That's what they were there for. And now that place, instead of it being the West Side Cafe and it was also a car wash, is no longer there. It's Casey's gas station. It's another video I wish you guys would have seen of that building getting torn down. I recorded it, but what I recorded it on, I shouldn't have. Because the audio on that turned out to be... So I just scrapped it. Because it just didn't sound good. And I wasn't too good at filming things back then, so I was just kind of guessing as to how to do it. And I really had no idea as to what the hell I was doing. But that was yesteryear. 2001? 2002? No, it's earlier than that. I was living here when they tore that building down. (2010, 2011 maybe? It's been gone for a number of years. And I was standing there recording it and watching them tear it down, and until some guy told me, he walked up to me, he said, why don't you go find something better to do instead of standing here? Like, okay. So what I did get to record 10 minutes of it before that guy walked up to me and told me to go find something different to do. So I did. I left. And I had Popeyes for lunch. Ooh, Popeyes. I haven't had Popeyes in never. I've never had Popeyes. I've never had In-N-Out. All you guys in them southern states have those restaurants down there that Minnesota, well, I shouldn't say Minnesota doesn't have. I think the southern part of Minnesota does. Down towards past Minneapolis and Rochester, I think they might have a Popeyes or something down there. I don't know. Did I get my new router yet? No. I don't know what I'm going to do on that because I really don't need a new router because my speeds don't require a new router. It does require security, yes, but it doesn't require a new router. So when I'm only getting 8 megs download and 5 to 8 upload, why would I want a Wi-Fi 7 router? What I actually need to find is an old Wi-Fi 5 router. That's what I have here is Wi-Fi. I don't need 5, 6, and 7. Our speeds here in the building won't. Unless you're using Ethernet, but Wi-Fi. The only thing that uses Wi-Fi in this apartment is my phone. And it doesn't really need 7 Wi-Fi 7. So, I'm actually going to be backtracking. Instead of getting something newer, I'm going to get something older. Because I really don't need anything. Because all I need the Wi-Fi for is for my phone. What about a new PC or new gaming PC? Well, I'm not a gamer, so I don't need a gaming PC, but I would like, well, Tim, I have that other motherboard, and like I said before, That is one project I'd like to get done, but the other reason I'm putting it off, the only reason, is because half the passwords that I have to, let's see, Zoom, Malwarebytes, and all the other programs I have in my system tray, I do not have the passwords for. So if I take that MSI motherboard and I replace this computer that I'm doing the stream on now, actually I like Terry's little streamer that he has. That's kind of neat. It's long, but it's only about that wide. Now I don't know, maybe a little over. It's less than a foot, maybe 6 inches wide, but it's longer. For streaming, you really don't need anything really that powerful. I mean, really, streaming doesn't tax you the CPU that much, if at all. So what I've got for streaming on this computer is probably overpowered. When I've got something that can go up to 4.6 gigahertz, you don't need 4.6 gigahertz when you're streaming. So this one here too, I might just downgrade to a I don't know, I don't know. I probably won't do anything with CPU, but it's got 64 gigs of RAM, and really, I don't need 64 gigs of RAM. Personally, what I think I could get a buy with for streaming, I don't know. I might try it someday to see how crappy it is. It's 16 gigs for streaming. I don't think you need a lot of memory for streaming, but maybe I do. Maybe someone will prove me wrong. Said, well, put 32 in, and here's why. And if any of you guys are going to tell me that, don't just tell me to do it. Tell me the reason why you think I should. Just don't tell me, well, yeah, you should or shouldn't do that. Tell me the reasons why, and I probably won't do anything. It works fine the way it is, so why fix what's not broken? But I would like to use that other MSI motherboard. And like I said, MSI really isn't... The two boards I have, the one I'm using, hasn't blown up on me yet. The key word there is yet. I'm sure it will. One of these days, I'm gonna hear a big kabang out of it. Like everybody else has told me, with these boards like the one that I'm using, eventually something goes kaboom. And usually it's within the first 2 years. It just doesn't tell you it's gonna happen. It just happens. And it sounds like one of those sparklers or whatever, 4th of July. You take them, and you smack them on the ground, and they pop. They make that popping down the poppers or whatever. That's what this sounds like when a capacitor blows on a motherboard. You hear that loud snap and a pop. Like, yep, capacitor blew. Kills everything. I'm just... Hopefully it won't happen, but from everybody I've told me, including Bob, he said MSI has always had that fault, that they've had that hidden secret within their motherboards that they just... Even the boards they're building today just aren't built to high quality. I mean, they're better than what they were, but still, they're not everybody's go-to. But it's working fine for now. I mean, Bob, I took that over to his shop, and he's got one of those big, huge, fancy machines that he can scope the motherboard. He can follow every single trace. It takes him about a day to do it because there's a lot to do. And he said, "Yeah, that motherboard has the fault that every other MSI motherboard has. They never took that fault out, and one of these days, he just doesn't know when it's going to happen. But he's pretty sure it will. He said one of these days this is going to go kaboom." Well, I hope not, but that's when he kind of rolled his eyes up at me. He said that's why I wouldn't have gotten an MSI motherboard, is I didn't get it. Someone gave it to me. And what did MSI say about it? It's the most frequently. It's one of the most frequently returned items. There's a reason they're saying that. Like, yeah, but it's working for now. He said, yeah, but it won't for long. He just doesn't know when. So we'll see. Which if that goes and I use this motherboard for this computer, then uh-oh. I've got a problem. But I don't think it'll happen. I think it'll be all right. It's just he looked at every capacitor under a high-powered microscope, and he said they're still not using the better capacitors on the motherboards. They're using the ones that are, okay, but it's not the ones he'd use. That's why maybe MSI is a cheaper motherboard, because they don't use the most top quality parts. They probably should. But as long as it runs for now, I'll worry about that when the thing decides to let go on me. But I don't think it will. And he said, he said it's a crapshoot. It might and it might not. He said, I just don't know. But yeah, there's a few of them on there, and he kind of looked at them. He's like, they're not in the best of shape, but he thinks they'll do all right. But he said time will tell. And is doing fine so far. In fact, he was over here the other day and he asked me how the computer was doing. I said, it's doing just fine. He scratches his head and thinks, geez, that's funny. Most of them don't live this long. Yeah, well, I don't mess with the settings. I don't mess with anything on the computer. I just do what I gotta do and I don't change anything. So I think at the end of at the beginning of next year, 2027, I think I'll be looking for some different motherboards and some different stuff. I don't know what I'm gonna go yet with. I've tried Gigabyte. I've tried MSI. There's quite a few board brands that I've tried, but there's a few others that I haven't yet, and I'd like to try them. I've got an ASRock micro board. There's another one that I'm forgetting. Asus. Yeah, that's it. But I don't know, Asus or ASRock. I think I might go with ASRock. Oh, goodness. You should have wrote down the PW on paper. Just 1080p for camera. What the heck? LOLXD. When the Galaxy S26 phone comes out in panels. Yeah, that's the other thing I need to get is I need to get a new phone. I just don't want to spend the money on it. Even though I know I'm going to have to. I don't want to spend $200 some on something that used to be $99. But I know this phone that I've got isn't going to last forever, so I'm going to have to. Did I get my lunch on my shirt? Yeah, I did. Something did. Then I got a nick in my razor's edge because my shaver's edge. And I was shaving, and all of a sudden it just went, jeez, oh. And boy, that blood bled like a sieve. Oh my God. I feel, I took 2 toilet paper and I took a whole bunch of it out, and 3, 4 layers thick. It instantly had all of it full of blood. This right here was bleeding so bad that I took one toilet paper and I bundle it up so it's nice and thick, and I put it up there, and it would instantly fill it full of blood. That's how bad it was bleeding for about 25 seconds. Then it just kind of slowed down and it's clotted up now, but oh my god, that hurt. Oh, wasn't expecting it. Everything was just going fine, just shaving along, just oh, fuck. It got me. That's one thing I don't like about new shavers is they are so sharp. And if you get the wrong angle or put too much pressure at one area, it's gonna get you. And it got me. And I didn't think it would. But then I was also kind of in a hurry because this is like 20 to 2. It's like 1:40. And I knew my live stream had to get started at 2 o'clock. Hence the reason why I probably should have gotten out of bed maybe a little earlier. But anyhow, I said, well, this won't take more than 5-10 minutes. No, it was before that. No, yeah, I was around 1:35, 1:38, something like that. I started shaving, and then I nicked myself. So about for 5-10 minutes, I was sitting here with a bundled up toilet paper under my chin. And after about 2 or 3 minutes, it finally stopped bleeding, and I just peeled the toilet paper off and threw it away. And it's not bleeding now, but ouch. Yeah, it does. Didn't hurt for long, maybe a half second. I just said ouch, and then I didn't feel it anymore. But yeah, new shavers, they always get me if I'm in a hurry, and I was. This time was ticking away. And I said, I gotta get this done, so I'm just hurrying up, just shaking it. Ah! Yeah, I was in too much of a hurry, and it got me. So, let's see what it's... Oh, goodness, it's 2:44, guys. Oh, and what is tomorrow? Being that I had, last night all screwed up because I thought it was Monday. Today would be Monday, and I think... Is it? And someone said, isn't tomorrow Sunday? Like... Doggone it, yeah, it is. I was one day ahead, and... That was one day ahead, and... Anyhow, I had to edit my title of the show today because I was saying for what we're gonna do on a Monday. And someone said, "Isn't today Sunday?" It's like, yeah, that's right. It was last night, but talking about today. I don't know. I'm always 1 day or 1 or 2 days ahead in my mind. So like today, I'm thinking it's probably already Tuesday. When actually, if I look at the calendar or the clock or whatever, it says no, today's Sunday, the 4th. I'm thinking today's the 6th. And it's not, it's the 4th. That was ahead of everybody else. Which can be of its own problem, because if you're behind everybody else, that's a problem of its own. But if you're ahead of everybody else in your head, and you're thinking today's Wednesday and it's actually Sunday. My mom has always noted I've had that problem. That's why she's always calling me and making sure that I'm going to get something done when I need to, because she has to literally remind me of what the date and time is. Because I'll sit there and today's like Tuesday. Say, no, today's Monday. Like, no, it's not. Today's Tuesday. And I look down and say, oh, yeah, you're right. Today's Monday. Then she'll tell me, you have an appointment tomorrow. Like, oh, yeah, that's right. Cell phone provider do you have? Oh, I have Verizon. I like Verizon, even though I know a lot of other people don't like Verizon. Verizon has never done anything wrong to me. So, Till a company does wrong to me and does something that I don't like, then I'll start calling them bad names and whatever. But people don't even give them a fair shot. You know, they just automatically assume that Verizon is horrible. They're really not that bad. I've had Verizon for 20 some years. Never had a problem. But I know other people have gotten a Verizon account, got a Verizon in within 3 or 4 days. They have problems with the Verizon. It's like, how is that possible? Well, because they wouldn't tell me. It's like, they don't have to tell you anything they don't want to. Well, then I'm not going to have Verizon. If they can't tell me this, then go find somebody. They don't have to tell you. There is no law saying they have to. Well, they should. No, they shouldn't. So she dropped Verizon and she's now on AT&T. But just because Verizon would not tell her something the way she thought they should say it, she canceled their account with Verizon and now she's with AT&T. And she still cusses out Verizon. She says, "Oh, they're such a horrible company. They won't even tell you what you're asking for." Because they don't need to. If you think I'm on Verizon's side, you're right, I am. Because Verizon, like I said, they've never done anything wrong to me, so they've always been pretty good. Maybe it's just the area I live in that Verizon is doing okay. And people around here, they open their mouths before they're thinking. And that's why they cuss out Verizon or they say some store is bad when they actually don't sit down and think about it. And then they think and realize, well, if I hadn't said that, they gotta look at themselves instead of blaming everybody else. But they never do. They always gotta say they're the problem. Yeah, but what did you say to them for them to say that to you? Well, I didn't say anything. And yet when you go back and talk to them about it, they'll tell you, yeah, I don't know. So, hope everybody had fun with this boring live stream. I know it's not one of my more better ones, but I had to do something today because I had to do some kind of a live stream, but I really didn't have anything to talk about. And I really don't because everybody else is talking about what I want to talk about. But I hope you had some kind of fun today seeing what I'm doing and seeing little stories that I come out with, which apparently nobody wants to hear about because I keep getting my butt chewed about it. And I'm not going to listen to them because it's their opinion, but their opinion sucks. Well, if you don't know what you're talking about and don't know what you're doing, you shouldn't be doing it. Do you know everything you're going to do when you get out of bed in the morning? Well, no, of course I do. All right, then. I just made my point. He got mad at me. He huffed off. Like, well, don't tell me not to do something when you do the same damn thing. Don't take advice from an overweight person on a diet. Like, that's one of Kerry's jokes that he's always been saying. Don't take diet advice from someone that's 300 some pounds. So, it looks like it's gonna. I know it's 20 degrees. I might have to go step outside for a while just to get some fresh air. But anyhow, I hope Kensdale. Better late than never, I hope. Yeah, I'm glad you made it, Jeff. Even though I'm about to shut it down here in a minute. Love your mom always comes to the rescue. Yeah, well, I don't know. That's a subject I won't get into with his mother's. Me and my mom always have a difference of opinion how the world works. And she was from the 50s and the 60s, and because of her parents, the way her parents raised her, she inflicts that horrible pain onto everybody else today. especially financial stuff. She really doesn't like people spending money. She really does not like people doing that. And that's because her parents, when she was young, always told her, save your money, don't be spending it. There'll be the day when you have all that money that you saved and you'll be glad you did. But how can you get to that occasion if you're spending every penny you have? So it's better to save than to spend. And that's what my mom lectures today. It's better to save than to spend. Buy what you gotta buy for the necessities of life and then just forget about everything else. I don't know if that's the advice I'd be giving people today, but it's what she keeps telling me. Oh, here walks in Long Dog. Speaking of 300 pounds, well, at Taco Bell, there was a kid probably 16 years old. He weighed probably 300 pounds. His legs were so fat. Yeah, it's kind of sad to see people like that. I hate to make fun of people like this, but it's the only way that I can say it. There's a gal in this building, kind of, well, maybe a little bit taller than me, and she's overweight. She's 300 some pounds. When she looks down, she's got the 1, 2, 3 triple chin. I had to turn away and look away from her. I couldn't. I had to turn my head. Ugh. I didn't say anything. She didn't notice it, but my head and thinking, my God, girl, you gotta go on a diet or do something. We've already had one person in this building that died because she was severely overweight and her heart couldn't take it, and her heart gave out. I mean, she was in the 400 plus range and very big. I mean, she was a big girl. And at the skating party here in Brainerd, she was skating or trying to skate. She wasn't doing it. She just didn't do anything very quickly, and she just fell over. And she got air flighted down to the cities, and she didn't make it down to the cities alive. She died before she got there. So I always take that in consideration. I try to stay healthy. I try to get out biking and try to do what I can do to try to mimic a healthy life. I try not sitting around too much. I try to get my exercise and seeing the doctor on a regular basis and seeing the dentist. But I know there's people in this building that have never seen a dentist and they hate seeing doctors, so they're not in the best of health. They don't like seeing doctors. I mean, the one guy I talked to, he hasn't seen a doctor in over 5 years. And I said, health-wise, how are you doing? Oh, I don't know. Alive, I guess. Okay. I told him you might want to go see a doctor, get a second opinion besides yours. And he texted me last night and he said, yeah, he's got an appointment for the Essential Clinic this week. He thinks on Thursday. Because he thought about it and he said, yeah, maybe I should go see a doctor. So he made an appointment and says he thinks he's doing fairly well. We'll see how that is when he comes back Thursday. He calls me. He's like, well, guess what the doctor said? I don't really want to know, but go ahead and tell me. High blood pressure, cholesterol's through the roof, and everything else. Yeah, I kind of guess because I know how the guy eats. I wouldn't be surprised if he's diabetic. He's not really overweight. He's about my size, about 155 pounds. Which I am surprised I weigh that much. When I was weighed last time, I'm not the 130 some pounds I used to be. Facts, I agree with you, brother. Well, computer repair is kind of like being the doctor. They give you the license to practice. Yeah. I wouldn't suggest saying that to a doctor because they'll get very angry. Ask me how I know. I said that to my doctor maybe 7 years ago, and I pissed her off. And yeah, you just got a license to practice what you're doing. You really have no idea. And she didn't appreciate me saying that in my chart through the clinic. She wrote a note to me saying that the reason it's called practice, and she gave the whole paragraph and a half of why they said that. She said it has nothing at all to do with what you were thinking. Well, I don't know. Again, a difference of opinion. I think doctors are some of them are uneducated. Some. I didn't say all. There's a few out there that really shouldn't be doctors. And I've run into a few of those people here in my area. Some doctors that really shouldn't be doctors. They should be carpet layers or something, because they should not be in medicine. But all right, guys, I've gone on long enough. It is 2:57. Again, I overshot it, and I was hoping to stay here maybe 20, 25 minutes, and here it is. I almost went an hour. Didn't talk about anything, but I don't know. I've got to get back to my notes again, so I have an idea of what I'm going to talk about in my head, instead of just doing what Kerry does. And I don't do what Kerry does very well, and that's just winging it. Because he doesn't have any notes. He said, we just come out every day, we hit the record button, we just go with it. And like, yeah, and how do you do that? Because I can't. Obviously, as you can tell, I have no notes, no nothing in front of me, so I'll get better at it. I'll get better. But, see, today is Sunday, tomorrow's Monday. There will be probably a live stream tomorrow. It's the best of my knowledge that there will be. Unless I don't wake up or something tomorrow. At the same regular time, 2 o'clock. I don't know. There's a debacle I've got to get into about Windows and a couple other things that I've been hearing people talk on the internet, and I don't know, maybe tomorrow, maybe Tuesday, we'll get into that discussion, because I people are bashing Windows 11 so badly that it's actually starting to bother me a little bit. But again, I'm just an average freak. I haven't had a problem with my Windows 11. I did have that one update, like everybody probably had with that update of the printer problem. Remember that good old problem we were having with the printers? I've had that. I've had the USB problem, where USBs wouldn't work. So, but they came back to life for some reason. That was because of a Windows update. I've had a few issues that really didn't cause it didn't cause a problem, but really was just kind of a stumbling block I had to jump over, and I shouldn't have had to, but I did. I don't know. I'm hearing a lot of griping about Windows 11, and I don't know. I'm trying to figure out why. And then there's Windows 11. Where is Windows 11 gonna go from this year? I know they said they're gonna come out with that Agentic OS. Oh, I don't know. How far do you think Windows is gonna go? I mean, they've got to put the stop sign up eventually, but they haven't. And that's kind of what concerns me, is the marketers are getting Microsoft to do things that I don't think they're really accustomed to doing. I don't know. I just see a lot of things on the horizon, things in the future with Windows that I don't. I don't know. We'll have to see, but I agree. They need to put up. Yeah, they do. They really need to They don't need to stop, but they just, well, yeah, on some things they need to stop. Other things they need to actually slow down and think and get their security team back together. Because Microsoft apparently wiped that out. Or very little of it left, and the security team that they do have for Windows doesn't really give a flying about what happens. Hence the exploits that we've been having. Has anybody noticed how many exploits we've been having, all the bad security stuff we've been having? Well, that's because Microsoft's security team doesn't really care anymore. So that's why, my opinion, I think that's why all this is happening. But we'll talk all about that tomorrow and Wednesday and moving forward. But, oh, Long Dog, don't put a stop on Windows 11. We need to continue with the next great thing. Windows 11 is not the place to stop. Yeah, they do. Tim, I agree with you. No, Long Dog, I'm not saying they need to stop with Windows 11. I'm saying they need to stop with some of this foolishness they're doing with Windows 11. They can continue with Windows 11. Just leave the damn thing alone. That's all I wanted to do, was just leave Windows alone. It works fine. You know, there's a couple of things I've had to turn off because I didn't want it, but oh, here comes a good time to go because the train's coming. But again, guys, we'll talk about that later. I'm not saying that Windows 11 needs to stop doing everything they're doing, but this new stuff that they're coming out with, like Agentic OS, can somebody please tell me a reason? Windows wants to do everything for you. So instead of you using your brain and having a thought process, they're coming out with Recall. Oh, shut up, Burlington Northern. Recall, Agentic OS, Copilot, all these things mingled together can do things for you instead of you using it in your own thought process and you doing it yourself. Again, this is Windows trying to say that they're trying to make the simplicity of Windows easier. And I think they've gone so far that it's actually harder to use because they're trying to make it so simple to use. To a lot of people, they said instead of making it easy to use, it's more difficult today because of the things they've changed and all the rearranging they've done. Even though Windows 11 is technically Windows 10 with a new coat of paint. I kind of disagree with that, but with the professionals out there, I can't argue with them because they keep telling me it's the same thing, which it is, but yet it isn't. But enough. I've got to go. I've got things I got to do, so. Wow, that was a quick train. I will see all of you tomorrow, the same time, same place. Like I said, I'll have a few notes out here and a few more things that we can talk about instead of just talking about whatever. I'll have a better better idea of what I want to talk about. Okay, well, maybe the end game is to have computers so intertwined with internet lives that the AI and the system needs to do the physical things we keep the system going until they develop robots that can fix AI in the computer systems. But that's going to take a lot of dexterity, and that's why the system will need humans. Well, yeah, we'll see how much of that pans out. Yeah, their Windows wants everything automated. You want to do something, Windows just wants you to sit back and relax in your chair to say, don't worry about it. We'll take care of that for you. Oh, no, you won't. No, 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 no. I'll do it myself, thank you. That's why hence Agentic OS and everything that's a multitasking process, Agentic OS can do that for you. And again, I think this is more for office setups instead of home. I don't know. We'll talk more about that tomorrow along with other things, but that will be part of their end game. Yeah, I can do it myself. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. That's why I turned everything that's automatic in my computers, I've turned it off. Because if I want to do something, I'm sorry, I'll do it myself. And I do it on a regular basis. Like StorageSense, I don't use StorageSense. I do everything StorageSense does. I do that on my own. So, all right, with that, guys, I will see all of you tomorrow. Like I always say, it'll be the same time, same place. And Long Dog, what are you saying now? Like, order food, make restaurants, reservations, get you an airline ticket, teach you how to scan the system. What? I don't know. We'll have to discuss that again tomorrow, Long Dog, because you're thinking too short term. About 20 years from now, maybe. The computers really need to do as promised when you want them to do something. Yeah, well, why ask the computer to do something? Why not do it yourself? The computer system consisting of one in the future commits fraud, goes to jail. AI did it, is what I'm saying. Because the one future they are promising us, as you said already in your last discussion. Yeah. The simplicity of Windows is starting to get more difficult to understand. I never thought we'd come to that point where simplicity is starting to become difficult to understand. Well, with Windows, that's kind of what's happening. They've made it so simple to use, it's actually more difficult to use because they're trying to make it so simple. But all right, guys, I'm going to shut it down. I will see all of you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. I hope you all have a great day. And catch you all later. Bye for now. Because